record mode, and I'm going to do an email, a mention of our support thingy, and then, oh, Bo, are you doing tea today or no?
I mean, I have a tea, yeah.
Okay, we'll do a tea.
Does anyone else have tea?
I don't. I had one earlier. I had a Pixie Blush earlier, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
But that was
I have
way
all
earlier.
mine at work. That's where tea time happens, so I never have it with me on D&D day.
Well, look, you keep it. You have it where you need it. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
None of this.
Where you want it.
Where you want
Where
it.
you need it.
Yeah, it's where you need it.
Yeah. All right. I think we're good to go here. Oh, yeah, I gotta shut that off. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start it off in wrong sheet. Okay, there we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to There Will Be Dungeons. That's right. There will be dungeons. Surely there will be dungeons tonight with me, Scott, Bo, John, and Kristen, and we're ready to bring it to you again. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Before we get cranking too hard, a reminder this show is brought to you by your support over at therewillbedungeons.com. Click on the support link and find out how you can support us through our own homegrown support system. It's pretty cool. You get rad stuff, even in the mail if you hit a certain level. But either way, there's rad loot for everybody involved and a great way to support the show and give back to the podcast and to the video show you love about Dungeons & Dragons. So go check that out. That, again, is at therewillbedungeons.com, where you can also send us emails. And I'm going to read this one from Kara, who said this. Hey, TWBD crew. I've been a fan of the podcast since the beginning, and I wanted to thank each one of you for being so awesome. I listen to it while I'm at work, and while I'm having a particularly stressful day, I know I can count on you all to make me laugh and keep me enthralled in the story. I've recently joined my first D&D campaign online, and I learned more from listening to you than from studying the books. So thanks again. I'm so excited about the story arc for Season 2, and I think it's pretty amazing so far. P.S. Congrats to the Fergs and the little Fergling in the oven. Very happy for you two. And P.P.S. John is my favorite. Stanley's voice is smooth as butter, and I love his wit. John. Boom, boom, chicka, wow, wow for John
When
over
does
there.
the fan club start?
Yeah.
Right now that it has somebody, it has begun.
Hubba, hubba. Anyway, thanks for your email, and thanks for the compliments. We will continue to try to bring you a less stressful day at work with each episode that we do. If you're looking for any details about any of that, therewillbedungeons.com. Bo, you got a tea this afternoon? What are you doing over there?
Yes. Today I'm drinking Bubbles. No, wait, Buttons. Best intentions.
Oh, very nice. It even says Bubbles, and then it's redacted, and then Buttons. How do you like that one? You like it?
I haven't had it before. It's a traditional Earl Grey.
Oh,
so
very
we're gonna do
nice.
some pouring here.
You just
We
need
have the Foley on it.
you need a fish tank behind you. When someone rings your door, you go, come, and then you're Captain Picard now. Well done.
Wait,
I feel
what?
like that tea should universally be half off.
Yeah.
Why?
Earl Grey. It's some Captain Picard tea. You didn't get my Captain Picard reference.
I got you.
Jeez
Tea, Earl
Louise,
Grey hot.
that's an important one. Anyway, well, good. I had a.
Oh, wow, it's surprisingly delicious in a way Earl Greys are normally not.
Oh, very nice.
Has like a fruity hint to it.
Nice. I like a fruity hint. I had the Pixie Blush earlier, and Pixie Blush is probably my favorite. I could drink that all the time. I love it, and I don't know why, but I just love it.
I still haven't tried the Pixie Blush yet. I'm like building it up.
Well, you should try it. And also, people at home should know these are custom rad signature teas made just for us over at phoenixpearltea.com/TWBD. Get your own and start your day off right today. Well, we're already into the day. Maybe tomorrow. All right. Hey, let's do the show. We're about to get started. And to do it, we have to know what happened before. So, Kristen, what happened last time?
Last time on There Will Be Dungeons, bugbears beaten back, matchless against our mighty mess, the fiends fell. However, worms in their wigs welcomed wonderings about the bugbears' wary wizard warned to be Wormlord. Rest was not received as nearby Nash noted a nasty nest of voluminous vehicles veering toward them. Wasting what worms they witnessed, Stanley, Varel, and Hope hopped into their hardback and hurried home. coruscation cut, motor muted, while Nash dove on as a dragon, corralling the concentration of the cavalcade. He boldly blew through the billows beset by bulbs and bullets until he flew far enough to fathom freedom. To Tiet Kala he then took, budged back by a banana byway beset by Varel. Days departed, drawing the dawn of the dropping of the principal. He ambled with no aggregation. He conveyed kindness. He hurrahed them for their heroisms. He sought sorries for the slavery they had sought to subdue the damage to Dust Hill, and reckoned to return the restricted. He even fought for a forged friendship via a railroad tempered for trade. Parceling out ponderings, he parted peacefully, patient for a pronouncement. When it seemed a solution was set on, a desperate diptac dove for Varel, demanding dealing with a dethroner. Now rejoin our heroes as they face their most fearful foes. Yet, is the principal as benevolent as he claims? Who is challenging the mighty Varel? And will Bok Bok eventually ascend to rule both Goblin and Bugbear? Stay tuned for today's adventure in the wide world of The Wastes.
Oh, why didn't it do the thing it's supposed to do? I don't know why this isn't working. All right, great. It was supposed to get real loud and really cool right then. Just pretend it happened. I don't know why that didn't play right. All right, anyway, welcome back. Bo, your turn. You go. What are we doing?
Stanley, Hope, Varel, and Nash, along with Eminil Fekald and Riddle Nobieri and Melgor of the Order of Poxus, are in the throne room at Tiet Kala, having just granted an audience to the principal and requested a short recess. The party did conversate somewhat, and then were interrupted by Diptak, who is now to meet Varel later at the Golden Sands. With his departure, you're now again alone.
Sorry, can you remind me of who all's alone now? What's the total group? Is that everybody?
You are in the throne room with the party.
The whole party.
And
right.
Eminil Fekal, the head tide bearer. Riddle Nobieri, dead tongue to the queen. And Melgor Poxus of the Order of Poxus, the father of paladins.
Well, this day just got a bit busier. But I think we need to come up with our answer to the principal before we see to Diptak. So,
Well, it seems like the only way we'll get close to him is if we agree to this railroad now, and slowly try to understand what Principal City is like, maybe what its defenses, its weaknesses are, and start there.
I agree. I don't know how else we're going to get close to him. It's this, or we just all out fight. We're not ready for that. We can't take him on in this state.
No.
Roads aren't needed for trade. They are mechanisms of moving armies. Allowing the road to be built would be the greatest mistake we can make.
I mean, I'm inclined to agree with Varel. I think we would be foolish to assume that he 100% means peace. It's like he would be foolish to assume we would mean the same if we agree.
That's true, and we already know that dwarf who trades, so far we already have what we need, assuming that works out.
Let's not forget the methods with which the principal gets things done. How many people are going to suffer to build this railroad of his?
That's a good point.
I would wager every damn soul. Possibly
but
ours
we also
included.
can't easily turn him down. So, Varel, you're the one who traditionally doesn't like aligning us with people we intend to ultimately betray. What do you think we should do in this case? If we align ourselves with him, yes, we're doing it under the guise of betraying him later, but it might save a lot of people's lives for the time being. On the other hand, we tell him no, we are most assuredly inviting destruction. Not just for us, but for everybody here.
I pose a third option. a power play. We attack him directly, destroy the form he now resides in. He, now knowing our power, would have to draw his strength for a time, and we prepare for the imminent war. With my Eye of Groxel, I could be able to sense, in combat only, his one true weakness, and we can use that for all fights future. What of this metal he's made of? What of these materials that he's suggested that his power comes from? We would know its one weakness, and we would finally have the upper hand.
Well, I think that's a bold stance for sure. I guess my main concern is who's to say we can even defeat this version of him? Maybe he kills all of us right here and now. And then our answer was as good as a no anyway.
Could you perhaps spar with him? Make it a test of strength to see his nobility in battle?
If I fall to him here, he would gain control of the entire lizard army as well. Word would surely spread that one Vorel Rasvim Kurik was bested by the principal.
Maybe not spar to the death, just a friendly challenge.
Any defeat would be subservient. There is one more layer to this plan of mine that we could enact. We use Diantalis. We allow him to view this form, and if it is a vessel of magic, he may just be able to eat it out of his existence.
I'm not entirely sure. He hasn't expressed any known hunger seeing the principal, but could be that he thought it was a meal that he couldn't take. But it's not the same feeling that I had when I was around the leprechaun.
Can you talk to him from here? Can you say anything or find out what's in his mind?
In theory, he's usually pretty quiet, though.
So he has to cooperate, or you don't know what he's saying, or you don't know if he's thinking anything. You don't know what's up unless he allows you to know.
I have spent 3 months trying to keep him blocked. We haven't exactly been on speaking terms for that time, but I can certainly try.
I feel like he would treat this as a bit of a game and would like to see us suffer before he'd actually step in and do any sort of important role.
I agree with Nash.
I'm going to close my eyes, focus, and just see if Diantalis has anything to offer. And I guess to you, Bo, has there been any hint that he hungers towards the principal?
Yes.
There has been.
Well, nothing. You know that this is a being of incredible magical power, and that it is something that you could consume.
All right. After a moment, Stanley's eyes open. He had very little to say, but yes, theoretically, he could consume the principal in this form.
Must the creature already be defeated for this, or need it be merely screaming on the ground like our small friend earlier?
They have to be defeated.
Well, in that case, we could arrange a bit of an ambush. Is there a way to get him as far away from his top lieutenants and men so that we could make it sudden and quick?
He came to the town alone.
Oh, he's got no one with him?
No one with him.
Ah, shit, that makes him even scarier. We have no way of divining his strength, Bo, or anything about his capabilities or tricks or anything. We don't have a way to do any of that, right?
Well, we might.
I mean, without him in the room.
Hold on. I gotta look up a spell. Talk amongst yourselves.
Wait, if your spell does the senses one thing they're vulnerable to, then me throwing myself in the combat doesn't even matter.
Well, unless he's vulnerable to an enraged lizard.
Well, yes, unless I can kick his ass.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
there's something that I can attempt. It's something that I've been working on with Eminil and the Tide Bears. I can't guarantee that it's going to produce any good results for us, but
I'm sure you could make him quite soaked if you tried.
not that one. I am going to attempt to cast augury.
Okay.
What is augury?
Is it as a ritual or?
No, it is off my mantle. And by casting gem inlaid sticks, rolling dragon bones, or laying out ornate cards, or employing some other divining tool, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses from the following. Then it explains, doesn't take into account any circumstance that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells, loss or gaining of a companion. Now, Bo kind of gave me this. I haven't really thought of how it works for Stanley to cast this.
Well, specifically for the divining tools, it's the ornate bowls of water that you saw Eminil with. You don't have one, but it says here under materials you'll need marked sticks, bones, or similar tokens worth at least 25 gold pieces.
Oh.
So you'll need. They're not consumed in the process, but you'll need one of those bowls.
It did mention cards. I think I have cards.
I mean, it says or depending on what they are, but in this case, because your god is that you're seeking their divine knowledge would be Malhaya. You'll need the bowl.
Eminil, do you have one of those bowls on you at the moment, by any chance?
She reaches in into her cloak and pulls out one of the ornate bowls and hands it to you, and she says, "You may keep this one. I have others."
Got a bowl.
Nice.
Sweet.
It's got, you see the fishbird etched onto the side, and it's got waves and sort of gold swirls. It's very ornate, and on the inside it looks worn and old, kind of a contrast to the exterior, which looks beautiful.
All right, I will sit down with it. I imagine it needs water in it, correct?
It will.
Take out my water skin, pour a little water into the bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and begin focusing on the spell.
Okay, so you have to swirl the water around and stare into it for your answer.
Okay.
And so what you have to do is specify, receive an omen from another worldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. What's the plan of action specifically?
So the focus is attacking the principal here and now.
So casting time is 1 minute for the spell. Is it ritual? It doesn't not use as a ritual, so you'd have to burn that special spell slot you have for it.
Yeah, I burned it.
Okay. Let me see here. You stare into the water for 5 minutes. Your ability with the spell being unfamiliar. As you concentrate, you see a pattern in there, and the patterns do not look good. You see a body floating, and you see its soul ripped from it. You can't see who it is. And so the woe would be the results of your augury.
All right, Stanley sits up, looks around. We cannot go down this course of action. It is not good. I saw at least one of us falling with their soul ripped from their body.
Which one?
Does it matter?
Yes. Of course it matters.
Then we'll say it was you, Nash.
Because it was me, or you'll just say it was me?
I don't know. You didn't look in the bowl.
Eminel gives you a cold glance and says, "That is not how your gifts are to be used.
Who's he saying?
To mock others." To Stanley.
Oh, yeah, says Nash.
Be genuine.
Very well. Nash, it does not say, but regardless, if we are going to fight the principal one day, we are going to need all of us at our full strength to do it. So it doesn't really matter which one falls. We need to take this fight when we can win it.
What about the
I agree.
spell cast on Hope that day with the rocket launcher?
Would it even work if the soul was ripped out of the body?
I don't know. It prevents somebody from crossing over into death. I don't even know the spell, though. That's Diantalis that knows it.
Nash, have you any way to hold on to a soul free of its vessel?
No. I don't. I wish I did. I've been racking my superior brain, and this is I can't. I've got nothing.
Because his vision could still be true, but I might be the one free of the vessel, and we may be able to seal me inside or put me back in. It is a vision of us winning.
Burrell, we're not gonna fight.
The song.
Can't do that right now.
The legends.
You can challenge him to non-lethal sparring combat just because he's a foe that you think you'd like to fight, but no to the death.
Not yet.
But the story would go that he would defeat me, but I didn't really die,
You can
and that is a noble
invite
venture.
him to your kingdom and fight him there. But if we piss him off here with all my people around, I can't do that.
I will not be a part of your lie.
There will be plenty of other fights for you, Varel. Literally, we're leaving from here to go do one. Save this one for another time, for when we're ready.
And we don't have to agree to the railroad. That doesn't have to be a yes. I have a feeling he will probably graciously accept the answer and then maybe try something later.
Are we up on like a pedestal with your throne?
Yeah, there's steps going up to the throne.
Cool. I'll start walking down them. And I'll say, then you all stand here and add another layer to your betrayals and your plans to do in your benefactors. I will not be a part of this lie.
I understand Varel's desire to go in guns blazing. There's part of me that wants that too, but it's surely our death. And then we've won nothing.
And if that's the case, Varel, why don't you invite him to your kingdom? Why don't you forge an alliance with him there?
Do not take me for a fool. I see the advantage of your plan, but it is a lie and I will have no part in it. You continue to dig yourselves deeper and sow deceit in the cloth of your grave.
Pretty good.
I'll head for the door.
Well, here's one thing I know. We can't do any of this without Varel. So someone should stop him. And we can rethink this. Varel, we haven't... It's not final. These are just ideas. We're workshopping.
And I'll turn around and keep walking backwards, but I'm pointing backwards. No, I love each of you, and I will defend you to the death, but I will not be a part of this.
Well, shit.
As you walk out, Riddle comes up to your side, Hope, and says, If I might offer my opinion,
Yes?
the Master of Trade has been very adamant about our lack of resources. I think you should have a second think about this railroad. It would be a great boon to us. I know not what sort of evil this man is, but perhaps we could exploit this to our own advantage.
Maybe, but we also have that dwarf in town. And that should be worked out soon.
He is an unreliable little dwarf that is here once every couple of months. The train promised daily delivery of resources.
And what if that daily delivery turns into a daily delivery of troops from a much larger kingdom?
If they bring too many troops, we kill them all and destroy the railroad. It's not as if it's some permanent fixture. We set the terms of what's allowed.
No troops, supplies only.
You could say there are no troops allowed. If any troops enter the kingdom, the deal is broken. They may bring support staff, such as workers, but nothing beyond that.
We would need checkpoints along the way to make sure a full train doesn't pull in full of...
The rangers can be trusted to monitor the situation. I think this might be a great blessing for us. We are painfully low of these supplies. And to be quite honest, my concern is with Dolopopio and not with this religious leader.
Oh my god.
Do we
This
have
is the
any-
hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Do we have any other reason to mistrust this person?
Nothing except what a demon said once.
And he looks towards Melgor, and he also then looks towards Eminel. And all of us in this room know the conspiracy that you keep with your demon pact. It will be much easier to kill him if you have access to his lands. You might take the train incognito, travel to his city, sneak into his castle, or whatever fortifications he has, and do what you need to do. But it will be much more difficult sneaking you in if we do not have access to it.
We're too small to stand against what I assume is...
If the map we have is accurate, we stand no chance of fighting our way through the Dead Fingers, through all of their kingdoms, to siege the great city and then eliminate him. These are a madman's dreams. The only way you kill this man is through subterfuge. This is my advice.
Eminel? Melgor?
Melgor just shakes his head and goes, I do not like it, but I see no other course. And Eminel says, I don't believe you should be engaged in this demonic pact. Agree to the trade. Agree to the trade and find a way to cure yourself of it.
So that's... And then Stanley and Nash, yes, no?
I think we should do it. We can certainly take precautions to help ensure the security of the town. At the end of the day, it's all about getting to the principal, one way or another.
I can't help but feel like he knows maybe even what we're saying now.
Hope will nod solemnly. She fully believes he's listening, and...
But even if we decide, I guess if you're hearing this, Mr. Omnipresent Red Rings, then know this. We'll try your way or his way. And if that way goes bad and we don't like that way, then all bets are off and all agreements are off and everything's null and void, and we go the Varel route hard and fast. Also, it's not fair that he can hear us.
We can hope he's not listening, but he very well could be. All right.
We could wait till he goes in the shitter. I could hide in there. When he comes in, I could go dragon form while he's trying to poo.
Full laugh. And then try and get serious again. Wondering if a construct such as the principal even needs to use the restroom.
That's a good point.
It's a fascinating discussion. Then we build the railroad. But we design the tracks and the stops at least 10 miles out.
Also,
so that way we can
I
stop
don't want
things.
him to use slaves to build it.
What do you suggest he uses?
I don't care as long
Paid.
as they're people who have a choice and are paid for their work.
I agree. How do we ensure that? Or they just make that our deal? It's that or no deal?
It's part of the deal. We don't know, but at least I'll feel better about it, in the hopes that he's going to follow it.
All right. Anything else?
No, it would be good if we could somehow bring Varel around. It's not good.
He's on our side. He just doesn't like lying to somebody that we are inevitably going to betray. That said, I feel
may
like I
not.
should make it clear that that's not necessarily the outcome here. Right now, we are at war with a demon. We have made a deal with another demon that I don't think any of the three of us are super thrilled about. And as far as we know, the principal is at war with them. Now, he's a lich. As I can tell, that's not necessarily the greatest thing in the whole wide world. But if he could change some of his beliefs, some of his policies, the way he runs things, he's not a bad alternative.
All right. So we do this. And no promises on the ending.
No promises.
As I've said before, you're our queen now. I do what Hope says, so we, this is the best we can do. We do it.
But Nash, don't forget how important everyone's counsel is here, including yours.
I agree, but I'm already in the minority if I decide to dissent, and I'm not even saying I think it's a bad idea. I think it might be the only way to actually get to the principle. But I'm once again reminded how shitty it is he can hear us. Or at least we think he can. So none of this whole conversation is kind of, he either believes that we're conspiring against him, or he thinks that we're trying to sound like we're conspiring against him, or we're not conspiring at all. We're just, hedging our bets.
Well, think of it this way, Nash. If he can hear us right now, what he just heard was us say that he might be somebody we support, if he proves worthy. So he either cares enough to try or doesn't care enough and keeps going about his business. It's his call.
Well, then, my loyalties lie here with the majority, of
Send
which
the
I
principal in.
of which I think I'm one. By the way, I think I just agree with all of this. I'm a little bothered by what we do with with Pharrell because we need him.
A page. Here's your command. Oh,
Wait.
wait, there's no pages in the room. Sorry, there's no pages.
Wait a minute. If I left, was the principal hanging out outside?
Yeah. Oh, you did in fact leave?
Oh yeah, no, I was out the door.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you held up.
No,
Nope.
no, that was the walking backwards part.
All right. Well, on your way out, in the main foyer, you see that the principal is there. He's sitting with his legs together and floating above the ground with both arms on top of his knees in a meditative trance.
Does he look aware of the surroundings, or is he like all zenned out?
He is unmoving. He doesn't seem to be paying attention to what his surroundings, though.
That's because he's
All right.
listening.
I'll walk past
The
him.
tieflings by him glance at you at their station nervously and glance at him nervously.
I'll walk past him until we have one of those. His face is facing left and my face is right side shots.
Okay.
And I'll say, not looking at him, tell me, Principal, are you a Weir Lord?
His eyes open and they slowly make their way over to you. They glow blue. Just
I'll
blue
turn my head
lights.
to look at him.
I am no Weir Lord. What a
Do you
despicable notion.
Do you fear dragons?
I fear nothing. I have the steel god on my side. I serve him, and he gives me strength to vanquish all foes.
And this world is beset by foes.
The world has become a ruin. It has become difficult. Yet, through the guiding light of steel and chrome, we will find our salvation.
And I'll nod and
One more
Head
thing.
down.
I consider Dragonkind our allies. But they were betrayed, like many of us, by the demons.
I'll let that stop me. Start walking again.
He says nothing further to you.
Cool.
All right, you make your way outside, and then Melgor comes outside and addresses the principal and says, "We are ready for your return, principal." And then he stands up from his meditative posture, makes his way back into the throne room. You've had a long conversation without me.
Ah! Says Nash from the corner.
I trust you've come to some conclusions.
Yes, and we appreciate your patience in the matter as we discussed what we would like to do heading forward. We agree to the railroad, but we do have a few requests. We ask that it is built with no slaves, paid workers who choose to do it. We ask that it is operated by paid workers, not slaves. And we ask that we have control of the 10 miles leading out of Tietkala.
It is your kingdom. You can, of course, put the rail station wherever you wish. As for the workers, if it is your wish not to use indentured servants to build it, then we can make that happen. Was that all?
That was everything.
And did you not have questions for me? These requests are all very easily done. I accept them.
If we have further questions for you, how can we reach you?
My time is taken up with other matters, so it may be a long time before we meet face to face once again. I would recommend asking them today, as I've made time for this matter here and now. But I cannot speak as to when next we will see each other.
Then That is fair. A ruler's time is very precious. Now, if we do have questions or concerns as this thing is built and used, who do we speak to on your behalf?
I would propose installing an embassy here in Tiet Kala. No more than a dozen men and a few soldiers to guard the embassy. And with our ambassador, you may direct questions and inquiries. He or she may be able to answer most of them. And those that perhaps require my direct attention, we can coordinate through my agent. I would make another small request as well. Since some of our people will be working here in the embassy, we would like it if we could erect a very small building for the prayer to the Steel God.
For who?
Well, for those people of my land who will be now here. They will need a way to commune with our Lord and Savior. And so we would request that a building be set aside for the embassy and a second building be constructed from materials from our lands. It will not cost you anything, for the prayer and worship of the Steel God and of Jesus Chrome.
How big is this?
Small, a building. It can be a humble house. Prayer does not require a large house of worship. In fact, we reject the notion of money conferring status. We are all the same before the Steel God, after all.
I don't see that as a problem. We will have our greatest engineers and builders look over the plans and help construct it and guide its building based on what we have here in the city.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad we've made much progress. It's a burden from my shoulders. Conflict is such a distraction, and there's so many more important things to be done.
Hope will nod.
In turn, we would invite your people to create an embassy at our great principal city. Are there any among your kind who would like to study at the Arcanum Universalis? Or visit the splendors of the Green Bank? Certainly the exchange of knowledge and information between our two cultures would prove profitable for all involved.
We would have free... we could move freely between our cities. No strings attached.
Well, your people are welcome into my lands to move freely. We should have nothing to fear from one another.
That sounds like a fair exchange.
Excellent. I have one other matter that requires attention.
Hope will nod, allowing him to go ahead.
This one may be difficult, but I'm sure you'll make the right choice, Queen Hope. The mage Buttons, the Catman, who gains sentience thanks to Darguth, the scribbler.
Darguth.
He reported the appearance of an archfey. A criminal in my time, to be sure. I've heard much of the exploits of Dian Talus. And my understanding is he is in this room right now. He needs to be surrendered to my care. To allow an entity of such destructive force free reign to undo everything that we've built up. This I cannot allow. And he reaches into his cloak, and he pulls out a crystal, and the crystal floats into the air in front of him. If you would command Stanley to step forward, I will take Diantalis from him now.
Hope will look at Stanley and then at the principal. Would this separate the two?
Stanley will remain unharmed. Diantalis will be imprisoned. We will learn what we can from him, and then we will shoot him into outer space.
Oh my god. I'm going to space one day, man.
That's funny.
Hope will look at Stanley and give a nod that's basically, I support whatever decision.
If there's a way to be rid of him, then absolutely.
No strings attached.
And have your word that there are not going to be any other side effects, complications. He's just gone?
Do you wish him to be gone?
Yes.
Then step forward and clutch the crystal.
All right. I do.
All right, you move forward, and then the rings light up in power as both of his hands come up and boom, 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 and then you begin floating up. And there's energy, and you see Diantalis being peeled away from his skin as he screams out, "No! No!" And he begins to fight. And the screaming and yelling happens, and there's these red lasers entering into the crystal, and as if it's like a reverse prism shooting a single beam of blue at Stanley as Stanley floats up. Boom, 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 boom. And then Diantalis is sucked into the crystal, and the crystal glows blue. And he takes the crystal in big obsidian metal fingers. Do you know, before the scorching, there was a place called New York City.
New York City?
Get a rope.
Its population was 1 billion. He destroyed everything in that city.
Diantalis did.
He is a monster. He takes the crystal and puts it in.
Why?
Puts it in what? What's he put it in?
He put it in the crystal.
Oh.
He takes the crystal, glowing, and he puts it back into his cloak. This was all Buttons wanted for you. I hope your memory of him is not tainted with the unfortunate betrayal you must have felt at his hands. I'm sorry that certain things had to be this way. Thank you, Stanley, for suffering this burden.
Stanley just kind of backs away quietly, kind of unsure if he believes what just happened. I mean, if I'm free of him, then I suppose I should be grateful for that.
It seemed a little easy, don't you think, Stanley?
After all he's put us through, yes.
That's what I mean. Can you confirm that he's gone?
I have him in this crystal. It's what Buttons intended this whole time. Of course, he thought perhaps your friends, your companions, enabled this behavior. I have no opinion on the matter, other than this was a problem of great concern that needed to be contained. I expected resistance from you, to be honest. I'm glad we were able to settle this so easily.
I don't know why. Diantalis made my life a nightmare.
I can feel that you have a strong connection to the mana wave radiation, that you are skilled with the arcane arts. If you find the time, Stanley, you should visit the Arcanum Universalis. Surely their numbers would benefit from your knowledge and power.
I'll keep that in mind. I would certainly be intrigued to see what I could learn there.
And perhaps before we see Diantalis off on his fantastic voyage through the stars, if we find a safe way to communicate with him, if you'd like to do so, we'll try to arrange that for you. I can't imagine being bonded with a soul for so long will be without some pain.
Stanley just kind of nods. Stays quiet.
There is greatness with the Steel God and with his kingdom. And you should rejoice on this day, for you have bonded with the greatest empire that this planet has ever known. We are stronger for your addition into this alliance. And one day we can truly say that the Weirlords have been purged from our world for good.
Hope will nod. Thank you for taking the time to visit.
Mm-hmm. Now, before I leave, one last warning for you. Not from me. I don't mean it to sound ominous.
Too late.
One of our dragon sons, who traveled beyond the Dead Fingers, has gone rogue. We have not heard from him in some time. But my understanding was a comet fell from the sky recently. I suspect that our dragon son is up to some sort of mischief. And I wanted to make sure that you didn't associate it with me in spite of the obvious connection. I do not know what he is up to. But his colleagues report that he had been speaking with demons and was ousted from the Cabal. He may be here to cause you trouble. Have you heard anything that might...
Only that a dragon fell.
A dragon, you say? Was this the comet that fell?
Potentially. We have no proof.
Did you send anyone to inspect the crash site?
There was nothing there.
Nothing at all?
What had been there was dragged away.
Ah. Any clue as to what drug? There's nothing there. How did you know it was a dragon?
Speculation.
The principal has a hearty laugh. We make all this progress today, and yet you do not trust me. How did you know it was a dragon? Do you actually remember? As you want me...
Oh, I remember. I fully remember. That's getting too personal.
Mm.
I have my sources.
Well, if it is a dragon, that likely means there is a source of demonic magic in this area. It would not surprise me if Sist was behind it. That's this particular dragon son's name. Except he is no longer a dragon son. I do not know what he is. But assuredly, if he called down a comet within the vicinity of your kingdom, he means to cause trouble If not to you now, then soon. I recommend dealing with it. You're in a better position than I am here, beyond the dead fingers, to do so.
So you're saying this dragon son would have summoned the comet?
Dragons are not known to appear randomly or out of the blue. When they do, it's because they detected demonic energy with which to purge. It's why the dragons invaded our planet in the first place. The histories would tell you that the dragons were conquerors, that they came to this planet to destroy it. What they do not tell you is that the demons came here first, in secret, and bent the ear of mortals. The true history of our world is that the dragons came to save us by purging us all, which is not a great outcome for mortal kind. So I'm glad things happened as they did. But they are not our enemy.
So why would followers of Dolopopio be interested in a dragon?
Dolopopio. It has a name. You know it's a dragon, and you know there's a demon named Dolopopio? Have you been attacked by Dolopopio?
Yes.
I have not heard of this Dolopopio. What is a Dolopopio?
Seems like a rather large detail to miss.
There are many demons. Then they come with many names.
Were you busy doing something else?
I have not heard of this Dolopopio.
We met some of its followers. They've got worms in the ears.
Aha. And I imagine these worms whisper sweet instructions, promises and hopes of orgies if only one would vanquish foes.
I don't know exactly what they say, but it's enough to get people to do what they want.
Well, Dolopopio sounds like a pretty awful demon.
And so you're suggesting that this dragon son that's gone rogue of yours might be allied with them?
The information that I have was that he was caught communing with demons, and before he could be killed, he escaped. To these lands. What he has done since, we know not.
And so now you leave us to clean up the mess.
Don't leave you anything. This is your kingdom.
Well, you had no problem attacking it earlier when it suited your interests.
Well, this was not a kingdom of tieflings when I had designs upon it. This was the Guzzle Gang. Just another savage human tribe looking to waste their potential on worshipping a demon. And Driesta, in the cathedral here, I was told there was a giant bust of a woman whose teats sprayed blood and oil for the worshippers to bathe in an orgy. I had no problem disassembling such a place, but no, now it is no longer that.
So, in other words, it's our problem.
Yes. You see, one of the things that you may not be aware of is that my lands are protected by these things I call the Sentinels. They are erected to prevent demons' purchase in my lands. And it would seem that some of the lands in the Beyonds are covered by this protection. You benefit from them. But I do not wish to make it a you owe me because you are. It is just good fortune that you are. But these are your lands to protect. I have my own. If your kingdom falls, and the demons move further east, then it shall become mine.
Hope will nod. She understands the situation. Thank you for the information.
Thank you. This has been most productive, and my soul is filled with happiness. I rejoice at our new kinship, and I do look forward, Hope, to us meeting once again. Perhaps you will come to the principal city, and I will show you the great work that we are undertaking, so that it may inspire you in your rulership.
Maybe someday soon.
May Jesus Chrome bless you all. Do you guys have anything else you want to do before it's time to be done?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Not with him.
Okay. So the principal swirls his cloak, and a cloud of smoke appears around him. And he sort of just implodes inward into nothing and disappears from the room. And the wind from the force makes everyone's clothes sort of ripple and blows papers off the thing and blows a few candles out. And he's just gone.
I don't trust that guy.
I agree with you, Nash.
Just to make that clear up front.
Why do I have a feeling we just made a big, terrible mistake?
I feel like every decision we've ever made could be counted as a mistake.
Why are you so pessimistic, Stanley? Says Nobieri. This is a great thing that we've done. We found allies in this shitty waste, and they are powerful ones.
Yes, but in his entire time here, the principal seemed very unafraid of almost every single thing he came across, except for one thing, and that was Dying Talus. And we just gave him away.
And Eminel grabs your hand and says, "Did you not want to be rid of this curse?
No, I did.
This man just saved you."
And that is why I made the decision that I did, but I'm worried that it was a selfish decision.
Oh, my child. And she sort of grabs you and just hugs you and puts your head on her shoulder. You have suffered a long time in the wastes that you cannot tell a good thing when it is in front of you.
Maybe. But if that's the case, why am I terrified?
Shh, 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 shh.
I think we all are, Stanley.
I'm extra terrified now after that.
Well, she meant it in a comforting way.
No, I know, but
He's mulling about this, and she's
some
just
good,
like, oh,
it's some
poor
good
child.
RP. But then then a little reminder in the back of my head goes, "That's Bo and John right there." So it's hard for me to.
And we're having a tender moment, Scott.
I know.
Don't mock it.
It's very tender, like the best chicken.
Oh.
Tender.
There we go.
Yeah.
Word association with Nash Maggard.
There
in
you
Soul
go.
Minds.
Perfect.
Tender, like chicken nuggets.
Yeah, like chicken nuggets.
I get it. It's a tender moment.
Right.
Five Guys.
Yeah. I mean, they don't do chicken, but that's fine. We can move on from it now.
I suppose we need to focus on what's next then.
Yes, we need to let Vonch know that this railroad will be built, so we don't need to trade with the dwarf. I need all of our expert designers to come up with a way to control the tracks. We assume there's an army that comes in. What if there's magic hidden on the train? We've made friends, but that doesn't mean we can trust them. Their embassy should be nothing grand. I don't want any religious wars in my city.
I'll take up the matter of looking after the construction, says Melgor.
We also
Thank you.
have a slew of Dusthillians being returned to us supposedly tonight. I think we should have them checked out at the hospital, make sure they're
Yes.
in good care, but also just maybe looked over by anyone with a magical means to make sure nothing nefarious is going on there.
Yes, I agree.
Eminil, do you think you and your people could see to that?
Yes, we can see to that. I will go make preparations at the hospital immediately. And she exits. You've done very well, Hope. You have brokered the future for our kingdom and solved many problems today. And you can focus your attention on securing the safety of our kingdom against Andriesta and Dolopopio, who conspire even now to kill us all.
Hope will just nod weakly.
Our next task is to find out where the base of operations are and strike at them rather than wait. I have no doubt another plot attempt will happen any day now.
Before that, though, I think we need to find out who's trying to take Varel's throne. What if that's the Dragon Son?
It is worth looking into as long as you do not spend too much time on it. It is westward, and the one thing we know for sure is that whoever collected the dragon corpse drove west with it. Yes?
Yes.
You can begin your search. But you will have to decide who will rule in your absence. I understand you must leave to do this quest. But Tietkala cannot be without some form of leader while you are gone. A chancellor? A chancellor, perhaps? A regent? Some formal title given to someone to lead in your stead?
Comptroller.
Yes. I'll need some time to think on that.
And who will it be?
I will let you know before we leave.
Very well. A chanchajar.
I think we need a comptroller. That's what I want. I don't even know what one is.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and make my way to the Golden Sands. I'll meet the rest of you there.
I'll change before heading over.
Okay.
And that's
Nash?
where I go.
Nashi boy?
Same. I'll go get ready. I'd like.
All right. So before you guys get there, though, Pharrell, did you head straight to the Golden Sands as part of exiting early?
I did.
You did. All right. So as you exit the castle, you notice that it's daytime. There are many people still collected around the castle. There's a large crowd curious to know what's going on inside the castle. And when you exit the castle, they see you, and you hear a voice go, "Hurrah! It's Pharrell, the hero!" Hey! And you're sort of at the top of the stairs right now, leading outside of the castle, and there's a crowd of people who suddenly cheer at your arrival at the top.
No, I'll stop and bask in it a little bit. Flex at them, see if it increases the cheers.
And then you hear a voice yell, "What did the man want?"
I'll take a deep breath. Say, he wanted peace.
"Will you kill him?"
Where's the man who says this? Can
There's
I see
another
him?
voice from somewhere. You can't tell where it is. This is like an Oval Office press conference at this point as you stand on the stage.
I'll smile and start swaggering my way through the crowd.
Okay, so you ignore the question and move down below, and people give way next to you, but they look at you with smiles on their face and awe as you make your way through the crowd, like, make room, he's coming through. And eventually you reach the end of the crowd. They sort of all look back at you, and there's many questions being flung at you, like, you know, will you have a sale soon on your food? And they want to see your sword and your flame shield. A little child's like, show me your flame shield.
All right, as I walk away, I'll raise my fist up, you know, poof, like the end of Breakfast Club, but I'll light my shield as I do it.
Nice.
Perfect. It gets a great response from the crowd as they go, yeah, as you show the shield. And eventually you make your way through the crowd and start walking on foot. A couple of tieflings, though, have followed behind you. You've got a bit of an entourage leading from the crowd. One of the young men next to you says, Vorel, how do I be a great fighter like you?
I'll stop and look at him and check his physique.
He's thin. He's got some leather armor on, but it's very, you know, like something his mom might have thrown together for him. Not very official. Young tiefling man.
You must first lift every day till the sword no longer tires you. Then you might stand a chance to fight.
I know. It's hard for me to retain muscle. I try. Is there some kind of food that I can eat that would help me?
Meats. Meats of all kinds. You clearly do not eat enough. Do not lament your weight and your stature until you eat a proper meal every day.
Meat. What is the best meat, Forel?
The meat you kill yourself.
And he looks at you with great pride. And then another question comes at you from the left and says, Vorel. Are you close with the queen?
I am.
I mean, are you very close with the queen?
We have stood quite close many times.
What is it like being close to the queen?
It smells of gunpowder.
The queen likes guns.
Yes. She has many guns.
And another younger boy sort of walks up and says, have you ever kissed the queen, Forel?
Quiz kissed.
Some of us think that the queen is secretly in love with the lizard man, but won't tell it in public, because we would find it strange.
The humanoid face press.
What? What is this? What does that mean?
I've seen you outside my bar, often, sometimes inside if enough alcohol is imbibed, exchanging fluids through your mouths.
Have you exchanged fluids with the queen?
I have not.
Why not? Have you tried?
I believe we shared a water skin once.
But does she reject you?
I have no wish to mate with the queen.
Oh, but why not? And you hear another voice, I would mate with the queen in a heartbeat.
That is good. That means you are healthy. She seems quite fine for her species.
But why would you not mate with the queen, Vorel?
She is well built. I find that the emotional races hold too much in children, and I do not wish to be burdened with such a creature.
But don't you love her, Vorel? So
I love all my companions.
But love her. Like, we think you should be dating her.
Ah, a betrothal.
Yes.
I'm afraid I already have one of those planned.
See, my boring father says that only tieflings should be with tieflings, but I think love knows no boundary. It makes me happy to think that perhaps our queen would seek love from outside. She should not have to just simply seek love from her own tieflings. What do you think, Vorel?
The anatomy must function.
I don't think that Vorel should be with Hope. I think that Nash should be with Hope, says another voice from the back.
That would make more sense.
He could turn into a dragon, and then their kid could be a dragon queen. Another voice says, he's already got a mate. Angelashi, the singer. I know, but this is better, they say. And they continue on pestering you with questions endlessly.
As we're walking?
As you're walking.
All right, then I let it happen.
All right, so 20 minutes of this whole exchange go by, and then finally the Golden Sands is within reach. You see
Jeez,
it
we
there?
haven't even built the railroad, and shipping has already come to Tiet Kala.
Yeah.
But Tish.
Nice.
That's it. That was my joke. You can continue.
That was good.
So as you enter the Golden Sands, you open it up and you find it quite dead in there. The only customer being Tip Tack, who's sitting at the bar, slurping from a bowl. And Fibble looks above the body of of Tip Tack and says, "Oh, Vorel, thank Melimatu that you're here. Your friend here is enjoying some blood."
Bob.
Bob's asleep on the counter next to Tip Tack.
Oh, Bokbok's enjoying blood. Fine then. That is normal.
No, your friend Dip Tack here at the bar.
Ah, I have many friends this evening, including a new one. Fibble, please see that this young boy is faced with a proper meal, and that he finishes it all.
Okay, and so Fibble takes the boy to a seat, and then goes to the kitchen to get him food. Dip Tag is licking blood from his bowl at the counter, a bit oblivious to you.
I walk around the back of the counter and put my sword against the wall there and give it a extra long, hard stare before I turn to Dip Tack. And kind of, do the large barman mount across it with the arms, kind of making the house as I lean in towards him. Say, "Well, Dip Tack, in Draconic, are you enjoying our hospitalities?"
No. It stinks here. I detest this place greatly. I do not understand why you have stayed here and not returned home. I have pledged my life and the life of our house, the lives that our house is responsible for, to you. Yet you have not come to claim them.
There's a saying, a still stone gathers no power. And if I were to sit at home, as you have, I would be the same strength as the day we first met.
We do more than sit in caves and ruminate on matters like the weaklings do. We hunt in the Daemonvold. There is many prey that you can find there that cannot be found anywhere else that challenges a great lizard folk. But more importantly, Fushi has blessed you. Tipala awaits you for the siring of children. It is fated that you will come to Razakval and claim the throne for yourself. The stars have said so.
It seems this usurper has pushed up the schedule.
We tire of his leadership. He wants one thing: to eat. And he sends the tribes out to hunt for him. He does not even hunt for himself. But
That is the most base weakness.
under normal circumstances, we would find one amongst ourselves to best him. But he is of great stature, and no lizard folk dare challenge him. But I believe you could take him. And what is this eye in your chest? Are 2 eyes not enough? Why do you have a third one?
Secrets of the power I have gathered in my time amongst this stink.
If I were to fight you, I would strike in your chest and pop that eye. How does it benefit you?
Do you wish to revisit our former brawl?
No, that question has been answered. I merely seek knowledge of this eye. What is it?
I'll turn sideways and spin him a tale of what I know of Groxel.
Okay. So as you begin to tell the tale of Grosjean, well, we're going to call him Grosjean, but if you want to call him Groxel, we can.
No, I'm proper. I can do it. Grosjean?
Grosjean.
Grosjean.
Wait. You say this is an eye of Grosjean? The mutant lizard folk? Even among his own kind, he was a deviant. Yet none would challenge him, for his strength was unmatched. How is it his eye lives while his body is dead?
Well, that is a tale for another time.
It is magic. You trust magic.
I trust my friends and their magics.
If it is willed by the gods, then yes, magic is okay. But it is difficult to trust magic. Most magic is perverted.
I agree.
Still, are you ready to leave now?
We do but await the arrival of my friends.
I have brought an extra beast for you to ride.
Excellent.
All right. And as you've told him this tale and spent some time doing so, your friends do arrive all together. Hope looking incognito in a hood. Nash and Stanley definitely standing out. And remember, Nash has gold flecked bandages on, and Stanley's wearing, breeches and stockings and fancy cape and stuff like that from court.
Oh, I would have gotten changed into adventure
Oh,
clothes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to adventure clothes.
Yeah.
Since Scott didn't say anything, he's still in gold flecked bandages.
That's fine. I'm not going to change him. Why not? I care not for gold. Let him get a little beat up. Let's do it.
Okay, so you enter into the Golden Sands and see Diptak and Pharrell.
Bless
I
you.
should have muted, I suppose. You see them sitting at the. There looks like they're arguing violently at the bar. Of course, they're just having lizard folk conversation. But there's a little boy in the corner eating. Bob is asleep at the bar, and Fibble's just kind of watching them, enraptured in their conversation.
We are arguing.
You're arguing. I, Diptak, say, let us go now.
Well, then you may be in luck. My friends. And all three of you are there?
Yeah.
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 All right. This is in common if it matters for Diptak. What of your no deal?
What of your what? Sorry, no deal.
Of your new deal?
To Diptak?
No, to
No,
us.
sorry, this is to the three of them.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants to know how that went down after he left.
Well, we made it. They're going to build the railroad. They're going to bring supplies in. They're going to take care of all of it.
There was no lying, Varel.
The future is unknown after all.
Besides,
Sure.
Robot Boy can hear everything, apparently. He's probably listening to us now.
You would have been very pleased, Varel. We didn't tell a single lie in the entire thing.
Well, I'm happy you didn't compound your betrayals.
Betrayal.
Oh, you know
Who
that
be-
word, Diptak.
He says it in common, very broken.
Betrayal. Humans betrayal.
Yes.
He looks to you back in Draconic and he says, "How are these your friends? They are not even lizard folk."
You should
trust him?
probably let him know, Varel, that we all speak Draconic. We know everything he's saying to you right now.
In the interest of full disclosure.
Yeah, just so he knows.
Just so we're not lying anymore.
Yeah, no
yeah,
more lies.
don't wanna deceive him or anything.
No.
Yeah.
Are you saying this in
Deceive anybody.
Draconic?
No, we're saying that in common for Varel to tell him.
Well, I guess he knows common. Enough common to know that we're saying what we're saying, though, right? Diptac does.
I will tell Dick Tack that while fleshy and odd, they have their uses.
I see. I imagine there is a good reason you have felt it necessary to be among these people. But if you are to be a proper lizard folk, you need to attend to your people, and not the people of others.
I agree.
I
Companions,
did not bring beasts for them.
We have our own.
You say that in Draconic?
Yeah.
He swivels his head around, looks at you, and he says, "She speaks
They
our
are convenient.
language." Well then, bring your servants with us, and we shall go to Razekval.
Do you all wish to join me on this adventure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've done enough for us. It's time
More than enough.
to push one out for Varel.
Hope, have you appointed someone to rule in your absence, or are you not going to do that?
No, I totally came up with it. So we're gonna have a triumvirate, and it's gonna be Melgor, Nobieri, and Eminil. And so they're all going to make the decisions while I'm away. If they need to call me because they're at an impasse, they can do that. But I figure with most of the basic goings on of the city, it won't be too bad.
You have the sending stone, and we'll say you did this prior to leaving.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
for
as I
convenience
was
sake?
getting dressed and everything. And then also I have ordered spies, our best stealth spies, to head west and see if they can find anything. I've ordered them to keep their distance. There was a magic user there. We don't want them setting off any magical traps, but to gather reconnaissance information for the west.
Okay, very good. As you guys sort of deliberate leaving now, you hear a boo, boo, and the sound of those trumpets means that there's a arrival at the gate.
Oh.
Who the hell is that?
I have to go check this out.
It's likely the vehicles that we found in the desert.
Oh, it's the people from Dust Hill. Is it?
That-
He said it was going to be at night, right? Are we getting into the evening time?
Well, you guys are about to leave, so I figure we better do this before you leave.
Okay.
That's fair.
Tip the
That's
hat on
probably-
the big surprise, but
That's probably a good idea.
or if you can just leave before they arrive, then you can do that as well.
Yeah, because we'd have to go pick up a car and everything too. So Hope will leave and start heading toward the gates.
All right. Who else is going to the gates?
I'll go with. I want to see what's up.
Maybe it would be better if I waited elsewhere.
Okay, you're not going. Varel?
I'll go. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
So Stanley's gonna stay with Diptak.
The look of judgment from Kristen right now. Hey, I'm just in
No, you
character.
can do whatever you want. I'm not gonna judge you with this. I'm just,
So the three of you make your way to the gate, and
Actually,
Borrow
I'll
a
say
hood if
this.
you
I'll
want.
I'll say this. Yeah, Stanley would go, but he would be keeping his distance. He would not be out with the queen.
so you're in
He
the
would-
shadows, not making yourself known.
Yeah.
All right, roll a stealth check.
Ah, shit.
Hey, 2 hours in, we're rolling the first dice.
Yeah, first die.
Oh wait, that's good. That's 24.
All right, so you're gonna keep to the shadows and not be seen by anybody, including the party who thinks you've stayed there.
Ooh.
All right, and so on our way to the gate, I think that's where we'll take a little break, and then when we come back, we'll resume the adventure.
That sounds good to me. Don't go anywhere, everybody.
Shut up, Papio.
We'll be right